So today, making sure my mic isn't muted, I'm going to explain frag running. At its core, frag running is a great way to make money, but it highly depends on RNG, and there's a few tactics along the way. I'm going to be explaining frag running, how to frag run, and gear and classes that are fine for it. Now we're going to start off with frag running. Frag running is basically you go into a floor 7, and then basically you go to the end of the blood room and kill the giant. And there's 4 types of giants. You have precursor, the precursor giant, which drops the laser eye, which sells for, let's see, about 400,000. The price differs a lot. It was at like 300k earlier. It differs a lot. See, like 300 to 500,000. You have the Bigfoot's lasso, which sells for a low price of 10,000. And you have Jolly Pink Rock, which sells for, so they're very up right now. They're usually like 10k. And the best one of all of them being the Diamante's Handle, which sells for about 1 mil to 1.2 mil. And basically, now we're gonna go into the next section. How to frag run. So there's a lot of tactics involved in frag running, such as you could rush blood or get blessings if you're really weak. So I think that when you're frag running, you should watch out. There's no real point of watching out for skeleton matches anymore because they got super nerfed. They do no longer do like 25%, 50% of your health anymore. They now do like nothing. Mobs I would recommend you watch out for on my level. I have full Necron helmet, of course, because for the better than the Necron's helmet inside of dungeons. Mythic FOT and this one bone ring I got a few hours ago from frag running. I would recommend watching out for Frozen Adventures, Shadow Assassins, and Crypt Dreadlords. Now you might be thinking, Shadow Assassins, yeah, they are kind of annoying. Frozen Adventures, yeah, they can definitely kill you sometimes if they get you iced. If you're a Hypixel Mage or a 5-bone archer, this video is not for you because my advice, literally just go to you will not die. If you have a Hyperion, you just insta heal. If you're a 5-bone archer, you kill everything in like 3 seconds. This video is not for you. There's no real strategy. Just kill everything in sight. Now, if you're in a lower level, this video is for you. So, now, we're going to explain. What was I explaining before? I forgot. Oh, yes, okay. So, Shadow Assassins can easily sneak up on you. If you know how to detect them, if you see their little silent death, it will be swinging around in like a hallway. You know if they're there, and they teleport, and they will spawn the second that they get a chance to hit you with their sword. So if you're like hiding like behind a wall and they walk by, they won't be able to attack you. But if you're in front of them, they will, because basically the silent death, they right click and they go right behind you. And Shadow Assassins, they can do a good amount of damage if you are not paying attention and you're surrounded by other mobs. They can be dangerous to deal with. So I recommend always the Phantom Rod is a great weapon. It's worth getting a fishing level to use the Phantom Rod. It is amazing for giants, mini bosses, and everything in between besides the mobs. The mobs are so easy to kill with like anything besides the Phantom Rod. So next we're gonna begin to the classes. Forgot something else. Frozen Adventures if they ice you, you're dead. Unless you teleport away. If you're out of mana, you're basically dead. But, since Lifesteal and Siphon got nerfed, you will probably die. But if you're a Hyperion 5-bone archer, you don't know what to do. Just insta kill them. But if you're not, getting ice can be very dangerous. If you're playing like Mage, you could teleport away easily with your little Midas staff. You can kill a thing relatively quickly. And teleport away just in time. If you're using a Shadow Fury and you get iced, use the Shadow Fury, you'll probably teleport to a mob. So, the next subject is, classes and armor. Now, classes, using healer and tank, it is easy. It's the easiest way to do it, but you will take very long. You'll take longer than usual. You most likely will not die, considering you're playing healer or tank with your super tanky armor. Berserk healer can do it easily. I don't know why you would even play Berserk healer on a frag run. Just play Berserk. But if you really want to, if you want to know that you're not going to die, then I guess you could play healer, but you're sacrificing a lot of damage. Now, Berserker is great. Extra speed. The weapons are okay for clearing. The FOT is pretty good. Shadow Fury, I don't recommend buying a Shadow Fury just to clear. It's, if you really want to spend 15 mil on something that, if you want to kill 15 what was it? You could buy a Shadow Fury. It's a convenient weapon. Like, you can use it to cheese bomb, defuse. You can also use a Shadow Fury to get out of bad situations. But just for clearing, it's not really the best. Shadow Fury is more of a gimmick weapon. If you want to get a gimmicky item that you can easily get out of unsafe predicaments, like you're getting hoarded by mobs, use the Shadow Fury ability. None of them will attack you while you're teleporting. So yeah, FOT is good. Lipid Dagger for mini bosses. For Frozen Adventure, I wouldn't use a Lipid Dagger, just because if you get frozen, he can do a lot of damage to you. But since Lifesteal and Siphon got nerfed, you know, I don't know, I keep saying but. I was gonna say an exception, but I wasn't. So I was saying before, Phantom is amazing because you can hook him. He gets super knocked back into like a corner. Say there's one right here, I would hook him and then keep knocking him back. He would constantly take about like I say like 60% of your FOT damage it takes. It does do a lot less, as you can see. Stats on this are nothing compared to that. But, I mean, the damage is better, but besides that. The Phantom Rod is a good weapon, because you shove them into a corner with your knockback. And they don't stand a chance against you. Because they have a little bow, but since they keep getting knocked back, the AI thinks that they're running towards you. So they will not use it unless you unhook them and let them run, and let them stand still. Then they will not bow you. And even if they do, it does minuscule amounts of damage. For any mini-boss, Phantom Rod's amazing, and it is great. Now, gear. Oh yeah, Archer. If you're Archer, I recommend, like, 3 or 4 bones should be good. But I also recommend using, if you're not the best of an Archer, then I recommend also using a Phantom Rod for Archer. But if you're a pretty good Archer, you can completely rely on your bones. Bones do a good amount of damage, and you should be fine. Now, we're going to talk about Mage now. Mage is an interesting one. See, Mage is amazing clearing, and killing a giant should be easy if you're using a Midas Staff or a Hyperion. I'm talking mostly about Midas Staff and like other range weapons, because I'm Hyperion. You already know what to do. You've been probably doing 4-7s for a while now. Shouldn't even be doing frag runs if you have a Hyperion. Actually, you should be. It is a good amount of money. But okay, Midas Staff clearing, you'll be fine clearing. Clearing will be good. Killing the giants could be a problem, but if you might have to take out a few of the blood mobs around you before attacking them. But besides that, you should be okay. And see, Mage isn't the tankiest class. I'm pretty sure it's the least tanky. So you should probably be a bit aware. Now, here's something else I wanted to talk about. Since Mage doesn't have speed, literally one thing you probably will never think could be annoying, mini bosses in the dungeon like Scarf, Bonzo, and Livid can be actually pretty dangerous. Now, I will tell you why they are dangerous. Livid is out of the picture. Livid is easy. When he teleports to you, he just teleports behind you, hits you once. It kind of boosts you forward. So when you're going the square shape around the dungeon, see, this usually, like, when you're running around, you'd be running in this, attacking the giant in the middle, and just hitting it like this. And if you're a mage, just be in the middle, circling it. The only boss is Bonzo is faster than you if you're not using a lot of speed. Scarf, if he hits you with Soul Sand Blizzard, that can reduce your speed by a lot. But I'd say Bonzo's the most annoying, because he is always faster than you. Well, if you're not using a speed build, he is always faster than you. So I usually take out Bonzo or Scarf before attacking. If Livid spawns, though, I don't take him out because he's easy to battle. But sometimes I do take out Livid if I really just feel like getting that free 120k from Livid fragments. Now, Bonzo, when he uses his ultimate attack, he is simple. Scarf, when he uses his ultimate attack, if he hits you in like a really clear path, you can actually die to that. Now, that is a big problem, because if you die in a frag run, you'll probably rage a lot. Even if you spawn a diamond giant, we'll be like, oh. Now, we're gonna go into armor. Now, if you're playing Berserker, I would say the bare minimum is Shadow Assassin. Shadow Ass. 3 stars for this little? Is that a flip? No one's even gonna buy that garbage. Shadow Assassin is fine. If you're good at game sense, you could definitely beat down the giants at Shadow Assassin. And the speed helps as well. But I'll recommend Necron for the extra EHP and the bit more damage that it has over Shadow Assassin. Because if you're like me, and you make some mistakes a few times across the run, that can definitely make certain death. You could wear a Bonzo mask during the run if you really feel like you're that clumsy, but I don't. I die like sometimes, but it's pretty rare for me to die. I only died to Shadow Assassins and Frozen Adventures. Those are the 2 mobs that I always stay aware of. And basically, Shadow Assassin is fine, because you get a lot of speed. And that's one thing that Shadow Assassin has over Necron. Necron gives you no speed, Shadow Assassin does. So if you do enough damage, I think Shadow Assassin could be better if you could just be a glass cannon with a bunch of speed. If you are good at game sense, so you have like a Shadow Fury and a FOT, Shadow Assassin will suit you fine. And if you're really good, it could be better than Necron because of the speed. And Maxor could be okay for this floor because of the speed, but you'll lose all of that extra strength that Necron SA gives you, which will not be optimal. Now, we're going to be talking about some other gear, like for Mage. Oh, what the hell? Mage, you know, the usual Storm, Midas Staff, your usual Hyperion. I don't know about Yeti Sword. I think if Yeti Sword could work, but it'll be a very long run if you use a Yeti Sword. Probably like a 7 or 6 minute run if you're using Yeti Sword. Like, that will be a lot longer, but Midas Staff and Hyperion just suit you pretty well. And, you know, your Storm, sometimes your Necromancer Lord. If you think that you might die, you feel nervous about dying during your run, Necromancer Lord is fine. And if you do a lot of damage, Storm is also good. Because, yes. And Wither Goggles recently got fixed. They're fixed to give you your 70 ability damage. And if you really want that extra EHP and not the extra damage, you could use a Storm Helmet. But I would use a Necromancer Lord Helmet if you really want that extra EHP, to be honest. But, yes. An Archer, literally it's the same class, but with bone ranks as Berserker. Literally like the same thing. If one needs a damage pet to do faster runs like Griffin, E-Drag, Phoenix. I don't even know if Phoenix is good anymore. You know, E-Drag, Phoenix, Wither Skeleton, the usual, Griffin. You could do that if you just want to get some quick runs. He'll definitely do more damage than usual. But I prefer using a Baby Yeti because I know I can be clumsy at times and sometimes die. Or even die. Now, here's just some general quality of life tooltips. Revive stones don't work. Don't kill a fairy and get a revive, so thinking, oh, if I die during a blood room, I can get revived. You won't be. The most damage dealing giant will most likely would be the precursor giant. They can do, if you stand still, they can kill you pretty quickly because of their laser damage. There's a lot of attack speed and damage. And if you're using a Hyperion or a Max Archer setup, you can kill the giant in like 5 seconds. You could definitely kill the lower tier giants. But if you're like a Berserker like me, it takes you like 30 seconds to a minute to kill a giant. Do not waste your time on it. But if you have a max setup and you can kill it very quickly, you should do that just because the extra money does add up in the end. And yeah, that is basically the end of my guide. This is great for money. I made 5 mil an hour today. Not consistently, but I made 5 mil an hour at a point, which is really nice. I didn't actually sell the Treasure Talisman, that counts as towards the money. I mean, I wouldn't really count it considering, I mean, I'm kind of keeping it for my treasure ring. I have 3 right now. You know, it says 2, but I'm going off topic. I want this video to be strictly about the thing. Okay. And yes, if you have a max setup, it's give you a lot of money per hour. Like, I have seen like 8 mil an hour with your max Hyperion. You could do like 2-minute runs. And with a max Archer setup, probably less. But if you have like a Valkyrie or your Hyperion with your max Archer setup, or a Mage Archer, you'll be dominating the frag run game, making like 8 to 10 million an hour. And it is honestly a great money making method. Now the only problem about this is that if you're unlucky, Diamante's handles, are they 1 mil right now? Yep, they're 1 mil. They will go down like 100k sometimes, and that does add up in the end. So you honestly should so I'll recommend with your Diamante's handles. This isn't something I do, but I think it'll be a good idea. You should save all of them until overnight, then sell them for 100,000. That's it. I mean, 100,000 more, like 1.1 mil, because they fluctuate a lot. They're most of the time at 1 mil, but when they're at 1.1 mil, you can get the extra 100k, and that does add up in the end. And with the laser eyes, don't bother waiting. They only go up like 30k about. As you can see here, they only go up like 50k, and they're consistently at like 400k all the time. They barely go up. There's no point of putting them up for like, as you can see, 500k. This guy's ending in 13 minutes. A great example of why you should not do this. Only do this with Diamante's handles. And price fluctuation is very bad for these fragments. As you saw earlier, the Jolly Pink rocks are 65,000, which is a very high for right now. But yeah, that's the end of the video. Now, I'm going to be doing more skyblock videos. This one was very fun to make. Vote theyre virus. Did you not see Techno's new stream? Alright, well that's going to be the end. See you guys later. Bye.